Welcome back to another episode of
Family Meeting.
My name is Matt Glass.
And I'm AJ Tenari.
And this is Family Meeting, the discussion-based portion of the Family Album Podcast. And this month, we've been talking about things that are
Not quite so good.
not quite so good.
We thank everyone who voted in our Bad Album Bowl.
Yeah.
That episode will be out next week. And congratulations to our winners, or I guess losers.
The Wall by the Nostalgia Critic and Songs of Innocence. I was literally just about to call it the Apple album.
I mean, pretty much close enough.
Pretty much.
I prefer Brad as the Apple album.
You know what, AJ?
Yeah.
I fuck with that. I fuck with that a lot.
Hell yeah.
I mean, hey, the cover of that is actually green. Apples
True.
are green. There are no gray apples.
That's a good point.
If your apples are gray,
That's an issue.
yeah, throw them out, please.
To everyone in the Apple fandom.
Nobody's fucking eating those,
Nah,
okay? But real talk though, we're gonna keep it nice and easy with the theme, and we're gonna just name our top 5 worst tracks that we've heard here on this podcast.
I guess February/March is the month of shitty music.
Yeah, that's what it seems to be so far.
So we're going to keep that train going.
AJ and I prepared 5 of our concrete worst albums. I also have 5 honorable mentions. So,
Worst albums or worst tracks?
worst tracks,
Yeah.
not worst albums. No.
Different episode.
We already did that. That was the Bad Album Bowl.
Yeah.
So, these honorable mentions are in no particular order. I'm just going to go up from the bottom to the top. First one, I have Exit Does Not Exist by Modest Mouse.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Because I was like, yeah, I don't really remember this album as much as I'd like to. Let me see. And I was not very warm on it with this past listen.
Gotcha.
Still like it for the most part and respect their artistic integrity and like, I don't know, just
Ambition.
how they kind of cultivated just this really sloppy sound that works in places, doesn't work in the
A
whole
lot of other places.
duration. But this one, I think out of all of them, I found was just the most like grating to listen to. Like I
Yeah.
just really felt like this one would never end. And it's funny because I don't even think this one is very long compared to the other ones.
Yeah, I can't really, like, off the top of my head, remember what that one sounds like.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
I did not care for it very much. But that's the first honorable mention.
Gotcha.
The second one is actually 2 that are a tie for 4th place. So I guess it's technically 6 honorable mentions, but they mean the same to me. And those are Dropping Plates and Meaning of Life by Disturbed, as
Nice.
I accidentally typed it as
They don't deserve.
Disturbed.
Yeah.
They don't deserve to be called their actual name.
Disturb.
Dropping Plates sucks ass.
Yeah.
It's not a good song at all.
I might go a little more further into detail on that track, so
Oh,
stay
good.
tuned.
Oh, I had a feeling that one. I have a feeling we're going to have very similar ones
I think
this
so.
time around.
Yeah.
There's really going to be no surprises here. Not Radiohead, but
No,
there's
that-
going to be no surprises of like any of these tracks.
That'd probably be on Tom's worst tracks he's listened to.
Meaning of Life is also just like, it's a fine closer for that album, but I went back and looked at my notes for all these songs, and the only thing I wrote for Meaning of Life was, oh God, just period. That's it. There was nothing else. It was
By that point,
so
just gave
funny.
up, yeah.
Just, oh God.
Hey, I understand, man.
I just, I don't even think I re-listened to that one. I just remember really disliking the closer. So, and I also just don't really care for that album anymore, besides Down with the Sickness up to like the 2-minute mark.
Before the mommy break, as they call it.
The mommy break. But Dropping Plates, I do very much remember, and it sucks ass.
That it does.
It's terrible.
And stick around, family heads. We'll go a little more in depth of why I do not like that song in a second.
I cannot wait. So the next one is No Bad Days by Bastille.
I see.
This
Blade running away.
Fuck 'em. It's this one.
Yeah.
This album is completely cold on me now.
I see.
Bastille honestly has just become, I don't even know if calling them sellouts is even like the correct term, because I feel like their audience is just so confused, and what their demographic like that they're trying to appeal to is a little confused. Like,
Have they like gone a little more Imagine Dragons kind of where?
no,
Okay.
it's definitely, they still have like because they've always had like an orchestral feel to their stuff, which was what drew me in. But like I'm just finding that their lyricism is just getting worse and worse and worse. Like, it was cute on their first album because there was like an air of mysteriousness and almost like a weird, like, kind of cryptid vibe, especially with some of their music videos. Like, the Pompeii music video is actually kind of cool.
I've never seen it.
People's eyes go black and shit.
Oh, that's cool.
At the very end of the video, Dan Smith's eyes go black. But we're not talking about a really cool music video like that.
I'm talking about shit.
We're talking about No Bad Days by Bastille, which is just such a stupid song. I find that this album, because I re-listened to it recently, and I just think that it's just all these words for no point whatsoever.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be like the dystopia song where he's like, hey, all this shit's going on, but hey, we'll have no bad days here. We're living in the future. Like...
Yeah, confused very tonally, because it's like a concept album, right?
It's a concept album about how technology is slowly turning us into like a dystopian society. But the problem is, like, he's not saying, one, anything new that anybody else hasn't said already, and two, he just like is very insistent upon a lot of nothing.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
And I just don't. While the music does sound nice,
the point's just kind of lost.
Nothing. There's nothing there. And I think No Bad Days, especially just the cherry on top of the fuck 'em.
That awful hook.
I'm like, I don't need that.
No. What are you, Skrillex, dude?
At least Skrillex.
Like, it was kind of fun.
Yeah, Skrillex was kind of fun because that was the gimmick of just dubstep in general.
Exactly.
Repetitive and like brain raking.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually, this is a little bit of a side note. I didn't put any Skrillex songs on here.
Neither did I.
Which
I was considering, but I ultimately decided not to.
I felt that it would have been too easy.
Agreed.
And I think like there are people. I think there is a weird respect with dubstep and like that community. I'm saying that as if they're still around. There really aren't many dubstep people around, except my one coworker. But
just keeping it alive.
But I just felt like it would be too easy, and also I don't know.
Undeserved too.
There was hard work that went into those tracks.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Like production wise, especially.
And also like, I don't know. They're still, oddly enough, they're kind of warm in my heart still.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. No Bad Days sucks.
More like ass steel. I think I said that in the episode we reviewed that album.
It's a great callback.
Full circle moment, guys.
We'll have no more bad days, let me tell you. Oh, man. The next honorable mention is Alphabet Boy by Melanie Martinez.
Yeah.
It was between this one and Soap, I believe is what it's called.
Valid.
Because both of them, or the Ice Cream Man one, it was like between those three. And I think, although I hate the meaning of all three of those songs, this one's hook just like
sucks,
pisses me off. And the whole gimmick of like, oh, apples are the, like, shut the fuck up. When I don't need to hear my ABCs.
Alliteration.
Like, shut the fuck up. Truthfully,
the baby talk at the beginning just immediately takes you out. I was like, all right, how the fuck am I supposed to take this seriously?
Listen, babies can make or break a song for me. No, and I'm being serious. This is so funny. Like, I promise there's a point here.
Yeah.
Like, Stevie Wonder, at the beginning of Isn't She Lovely, off of Songs in the Key of Life, there's like a baby crying, but then the song actually like goes really hard, and I love that song. There's also a Bleachers song called I Hate That You Know Me that has like a baby crying. Oh wait, no, that's incorrect. Good Morning, the end of that has a baby crying, and it flows into Hate That You Know Me.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I don't know why it's in there, but that's fine.
Enough. Better than this song.
The song at least is like fine enough where I'm like, okay, cool, man.
And I think the thing is, like, this isn't an actual baby. This is Melanie Martinez playing a baby for the hook.
Yeah, and she's like my age, so it's so it's like I don't really.
This is weird.
A little bit. It's just not a good song, man.
It's not. It's really bad.
I'm almost like scared to re-listen to that album again. I'm going to at some point.
Interesting.
Why not? Okay. I mean, what do I have to lose?
I guess it can only go lower.
I've only been through the ringer like already. So, so my last honorable mention, because I've wasted all of y'all's time enough before we get to AJ's, is Two Love by Tally Hall. Almost made it on.
Valid.
But I was like, I was like, because otherwise, not to spoil it, there would be two Tally Hall songs in my top 5.
I see.
But I had to mention this one because it's just...
It's weird.
It's a fucking awful... They were all like So my sister and I did the math.
Mm-hmm.
They were all in college at the time where this album came out.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Mary-Kate and Ashley, they might have been younger, maybe.
Probably, because when did this come out? Like 2005?
Something like that, yeah.
Early 2000s. Full House was the 90s. So they'd either be like just on like the cusp of 18,
yeah,
or like a little younger. That's like my guess.
And that's based off of the show where they were watching them as teens.
I think I actually put their like the age in the description of that episode.
Yeah.
So check out that episode.
Yeah. And I think like the thing about it is like, hey, even if they were like at an older age when the song was made, this is going off of the fucking show where they were teenagers and be like, I hope you understand, I want to be your man. It's like, shut the fuck up.
It's just like when Tally Hall is good, it is really good, but the problem is like they just like throw everything in there that just kind of like turns you off from it. It's just weird.
It's a sad thing because genuinely Ampersand is a lot more palatable of an album. It's just not nearly as creatively interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas Quadruple M is interesting in many areas, but just the amount of silliness and borderline like collar pulling moments.
Banana Man.
Oh god. More on Banana Man later.
Perfect.
But yeah, those are my 5 before my real 5.
Sounds good, dude. I think those are all valiant efforts of being the worst, but I'm excited to hear your more in-depth thoughts on the actual ones. So my 5, we'll start with Fix You by Coldplay.
Dude, I could not agree more.
Yeah.
Like you go first and then I'll go.
I really dislike this song. I've never felt more validated than watching Mike the Snare's Deep Discog Dive and him just going off on that song. I felt so seen. It just really, the whole sentiment about it where like, even though you're suffering, I'm going to be the one to make sure you're not suffering anymore. It's going to be my like effort that makes you feel better is really condescending, and I don't like that. And then on top of that, I just don't like Chris Martin as a vocalist.
No, I mean, that's very valid. And the thing, again, that sucks about it is that the song sounds really nice.
Yeah.
And I love the organ, and I love the piano, and, like, the guitar solo that's, like, only 2 notes. But the thing is, the sentiment, like, genuinely fucking ruins the song.
I know.
For anybody who believes that they are the fixer in the song, that's toxic as fuck.
Exactly.
And anybody who thinks that they are the fix-e in the song, that's even more toxic, I'd argue.
Yeah.
So this song is just like a Bermuda Triangle of like...
just toxic cycles.
Yeah. Where it just will never end, but also never begin at the same time. And it ebbs and it flows. No, but that's completely fucking valid, though. Honestly, that song,
it's not good.
And the fact that it got so popular for such a long time, it's
upsetting.
A little bit.
Yeah.
As a world, collectively, we are like not okay.
No, like I understand what he was trying to do, and the sentiment is very nice, but it's just such poor execution, and the way it sounds is just like not the way to be.
I also think too, didn't he write that about Gwyneth Paltrow's dad, who was like
either was died or was dying.
I'm
at the
pretty
time.
sure died. I think it was like his like gift because they were dating at the time or married. I have no idea. But yeah,
not a great song.
Not great. But what's next, AJ?
I have a Tally Hall song of my own, and that's Be Born.
Oh man, almost made it onto mine.
Yeah,
but go off.
There was a handful we could have chosen from that album. But Be Born is just uncomfortable to listen to.
The pink skin babes, AJ?
That are swimming around in their pools.
Oh.
So the song name, for those who don't know, is pretty accurate to what the song's about. It's literally about the process of being born. And it's very strange and uncomfortable to listen to with, I don't know who's singing this one.
Rob Cantor.
Rob Cantor. His lyrics are very descriptive and very icky feeling. And the music is fine. It's like it's a nice acoustic slowdown from everything we've been hearing.
It's like a country...
like folksy a little bit. But the lyrics and the concept just really take you out with just how bizarre and like grossly intimate it is.
Yeah, especially since they're talking about like babies, but the way he phrases it is like almost as if he's talking about like babes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
it's
pink-skinned babes.
Yeah. It's a really, really weird line. It's a weird like double meaning that nobody needed.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think it's quite necessary on the album. Next up, I think I have one that you probably also don't like. That is Yours by Post Malone.
Yeah, no, I don't really like that song at all.
Yeah, the closer for F1 Trillion. Much like Fix You, I guess nice sentiment, really fucking weird execution.
Yeah.
With Post Malone being very possessive over his daughter and their future partner, because at the time Post Malone's daughter is still like a child. So it's one of those obsessive dad songs where it's just like, I'll fucking kill you if you're not like, she was my daughter first. Her first dress was pink.
I appreciate the accent. That was
because he's going country now. He's working with the likes of the greats of Morgan Wallen and his alter ego Ernest.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think the fact that he ended the album with that too is the worst part about it.
Like the last impact that you get from that whole album.
After all this fucking drivel of like same sounding country artists, we get this and it's like, oh, thanks, Posty.
Memorable for all the wrong reasons. But yeah, it's just much like Be Born and Fix You, just gross concepts, I guess, kind of like stick in my head as bad songs. And Yours is a prime example of that. The next one's probably like a lesser on the scale of terrible. This is Does Your Mother Know by ABBA.
Tune in to my top 5 family.
All right, I'll keep my thoughts brief then. Jesus Christ, what a concept.
Dude. Oh my god. Yeah, this song is crazy. I can't believe that this was on Voulez-Vous.
I know, especially at the point where it comes in like almost halfway. It's just like such like a switch, like what the fuck did he just say? And then, like, the music is fine for the most part, but it's just hearing Bjorn just go off about an underage girl.
Yeah, it's not great.
No.
It's really not great.
But I'll save my thoughts and let you go more into depth into that in a little bit.
So are we officially at our top 5?
I have one more, but I'll keep this brief because we technically have not reviewed this album yet.
Okay.
This is off of Nostalgia Critics The Wall. I have 2 honorable mentions.
Okay.
We have So Long Weird Song, the Goodbye Blue Sky parody, and We Need More Victimization, the Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 parody. So stay tuned next week so you can hear my more in-depth thoughts on why I do not like those tracks.
Yeah. No, yeah, for real. I'm very excited to hear those.
But I guess without further ado,
number 5 is Does Your Mother Know by Bjorn.
look at that.
I didn't even put by ABBA. I just said by Bjorn.
It was probably just by Bjorn.
I mean, really, listen to that episode where we reviewed The Man Machine and Voulez-Vous. That was a really fun one, and I enjoyed talking about both those albums a lot.
Our New Year's Eve special.
Yeah, this song is just really weird, as AJ said. The music is alright. Like, it's just like a standard, like, kind of more rockish song.
A little more bouncy.
Yeah.
Like the disco area.
Yeah. Not like, it's kind of leaning a little bit away from the disco, I'd say. But it's just a really weird sentiment, especially when you add the context of like everything going on
in their personal lives.
Because have we established whether like Bjorn and Agnetha were married? And I still don't know whether or not this was written / recorded and published before, during, or after. To which, in any instance, it's
bad.
Not great. It's not a great thing that he wrote this song.
I might have written in the description of that episode, like the timeline was a little fuzzy of where it happened, so I think I'll put this in the description if I'm wrong, but I think they were divorced at the time. So again, it is still bad regardless. I'm sure that was
wonderful if they were divorced and then she had to sing on this song. Like, Jesus Christ. And it sucks because it just bogs down the whole. Not really bogs down, but it definitely is a weird switch up.
Yeah, there's just like this like layer, just like when you listen to the song where it's like, it could be good, but those fucking lyrics.
Because I like the instrumental, especially in the beginning, because in the beginning it's like got that really like weird like processed 80s beat.
Boom, 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 boom.
Where it almost sounds like I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany for like the first few seconds. And then Bjorn starts singing, you're like, okay.
You sound hot. You sound cute.
You sound cute. I'm surprised I didn't put that one in my honorable mentions or on my list.
I was thinking about it, but
I felt like it would have been too easy.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Check out our episode on bundles and a history of public relations dilemma.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, it is a weird song. It is a very weird change up from like the really palatable disco that we had been hearing prior. And I think like just any song where, as a rule of thumb, any song where you don't know how old, if it's like a guy singer and you don't know how old, like for sure, the person that they're singing about is, it's arguable that it should be brought into question. You know what I mean?
Maybe just don't write that song.
Yeah.
Until you get those concrete facts.
My God. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we've said enough about it.
It's just didn't age well.
It really didn't.
No.
What is your number 5?
Oh man, my number 5 is It Gets Better by Fun.
Tune in to later on my list.
Should we just want to go together?
Yeah. Okay, fine. It's not. I think that's my number 2.
Number 2.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, It Gets Better by Fun is fucking. No, it's my number 3. It's my number 3.
Gotcha. It's weird.
It's not a good song. Why did? Okay. First of all, it's written about his virginity.
Yeah.
About Nate Roos losing his virginity.
And how sex gets better the more you do it.
And like, yeah, probably, but like,
why are you talking about this?
And why like that?
Yeah, and with the fucking, like the music, the production on the song also fucking sucks.
It's not very good.
Like the intro has like this weird like auto-tune like vocalizer that makes Nate just like sound like he's moaning. Like, what have we done?
Oh my God.
It's so fucking weird.
Shut up,
And
man.
it has like the weird like fax machine beat, like it sounds like so disjointed. Like the main melody when it goes to like the more punk instrumental isn't bad.
No, it's not.
But like all those areas and like the intros and like the bridge is just really awful to listen to, like the glitchy techno shit.
Yeah.
And the autotune is so unnecessary. It just makes the track sound more unpleasant, especially when he's making sounds instead of actually singing. And I feel like the concept could work if it was a different band, because Nate Roos does not have the charisma or personality to pull this off whatsoever.
There's no Roos Riz.
Not at all.
There's absolutely no Roos Riz that happening in this song or on this album.
Or at all.
Because like the thing is about this song too, it doesn't fit on the album
Absolutely not.
either. Like
No.
the album thematically kind of like it juts out and sort of spikes into random territories.
Yeah.
He kind of goes from mental health struggles to like domestic abuse.
Yeah.
But the thing is too, it's just a really weird thing where the whole time we're supposed to see him as like a tortured individual, and it's like, let me talk about my virginity real quick. It's like,
I'll be fucking.
oh my god, poor Charlotte Ronson.
Who's that?
That's
his partner at the time. Is
now.
his wife? Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Has 2 kids with her.
Well, good for them.
Yeah.
Little Rooslets.
I need to implore you to never say that again. Oh my god.
For legal reasons.
God, yeah, no. What else about this track?
Let's see. What else do we got? I feel like having Nate Roos be the one to give you this advice about sex, very unfitting and very uncomfortable. And I like going back to like no charisma. Like a band like Sparks easily pulls this off because that's like their whole like bread and butter. Is like talking about like taboo issues in like a tongue-in-cheek way.
Yeah.
They're not Sparks, and they cannot pull this off whatsoever.
I know for a fact he's not Sparks because he wrote Faith in Fast Cars.
Yeah, exactly.
any woman who wants to sleep with Nate Roos after he wrote that for the format, that's no offense, that's kind of on you.
That's a good point. The warning signs were right there.
They literally were. Yeah. Oh my god.
I think that's pretty much it. Just awful production. Nate Roos is a terrible frontman for this song. Weird lyrics, weird moaning.
Weird melody too.
Yeah.
It just, I never liked this song. Even before I knew what the true meaning of it was, when I learned about it on the episode we did in season 1.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I never liked this song. I just always felt it was such a weird like.
Yeah, it's such a switch up because this comes after Carry On, right? Or like around that area.
Yeah, because it's
track 5, I think.
Because what's the order? It's the
shitty intro,
Some Nights intro with the whale,
then Some Nights,
and then it's We Are Young, and then Carry On.
It might be,
or is it that, or maybe flipped, and then then it's this fucking song.
Yeah,
it just very much feels like a filler track, but like, why did you even need to
in the worst
it?
memorable way?
Oh god.
Yeah, it does not get better, unfortunately, from here.
No, it does not.
Matt, what is your number 4?
My number 4. I guess we'll also skip my number 3 when we get around to it. My number 4 is Banana Man by Tally Hall.
Yeah.
Listen, here's the issue with this song. The song musically is actually really good, and I really like it, especially when it starts dipping in, like, it gets all tropical in the beginning, but then, like, there's kind of like a more rock beat, and it's, like, really cool.
Yeah.
And I love, like, the production on it, but I just can't, music video aside.
Yes.
I don't love, and I said this in the episode, I don't love the accent that they're putting on.
It feels wrong.
Considering they are all white, especially in the one part where he's like, forget all your troubles, put the banana in your throat, and then it's all this shit, and it's like, dude, like, come on, man. Like, all of you are white except for one of you, and he's not even African.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what in the fuck are you guys doing? So then there's that, and then also, oh my god, like, as much as I do very much think the instrumental is good and, like, the melody is catchy,
when you
do I
have the
phrase
lyrics
it?
there, it can't really make up for that.
the whole thing about it too is like, yeah, you know, you can't make up for that. I don't want to gloss past that. You're exactly right. No, like, I think the thing about it too is that this album is supposed to be like, oh, we're in the marvelous mechanical museum where all these curiosities are inside. It's like, ooh, the most curious thing about us, Islanders. Islands aren't real. Ooh, like, that's kind of why I think this song is just goofy as shit. Because I'm just like, bro, like, what are you, like Hanna-Barbera in like the fucking early 90s?
Yeah, like making like a curiosity out of like a culture is not a good look.
Not even a culture, just an amalgamation of like just Islanders in general. So it's just fucking like, I don't know. Everything about it is cursed, and I hate how good it sounds and how often it gets stuck in my head.
It's too catchy for its own good.
It really is. It really, really is. But that is my number 4.
That makes sense.
Only reason why it isn't higher is because the instrumental is unfortunately really good.
I understand.
I love tropical stuff too.
Yeah.
I just wish it wasn't coming from them. You know what I mean?
I like real tropical.
It's like that one part in Take Your Time by Fun on Aim and Ignite where there's like that weird sort of like tropical like. I love that part, but I also really fucking hate the fact that Nate Roos is attached to it.
Yeah, that's his curse.
But that is my number 4.
My number 4 is one of Matt's honorable mentions. This is Droppin' Plates by Disturbed.
Disturbed,
if you will.
It's so funny. Sorry. But AJ, tell me even more so why you hate Droppin' Plates.
Disturbed is fucking goofy, man.
Yeah.
Like, the whole point of this song is like they want to be taken seriously and like they want to be recognized as like artists in the mainstream. But then they make songs like this, and it's a contradiction. Like, you can't take this shit seriously.
You really can't.
Like, with the lyrics, like, a little something for your ear hole. We got that bass drum kick that will blow out your eyes. And, of course, the iconic line, dropping plates on your ass, bitch. Like, having all these lyrics delivered by David Draymond with the same cadence as, like, an 80s anti-drug PSA rap. Like, how the fuck are you supposed to take that seriously, dude?
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think I've mentioned before, I'm not the biggest fan of nu metal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know if either of us really are.
Not really.
Kind of depends.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are good nu metal bands out there, you know? But I think, like, again, there are some people who can pull it off, and then some people who have the mommy skid, or, like, do this shit, and it's like, Droppin' Plates just...
It's goofy as fuck, man.
It really is.
Like, the instrumental is fine. It's just, you know, like your standard metal. It's like just a chugging along metal riff that sounds like something out of the Shadow the Hedgehog soundtrack. Nothing inoffensive. My gripes mostly come from the lyrics and the vocal delivery. But, like, I feel like this track is truly, like, the thesis statement of, like, why Disturbed is not, like, I guess, or at the time was not, like, regarded well in the mainstream.
Besides the fact that they tried to fight with all of their, like...
Yeah, start beef with everyone.
Yeah, people they toured with, as well as people they've never met before.
Yeah. Like, I know they're beloved by people. Like, they have, like, a lot of tracks people like, and I'm not going to take that away from you. I just find this band very silly. Like, they want to be taken seriously, but they end up doing way too much, which causes their songs to have, like, this very in-your-face, distracting flaws that just takes it away, so you just can't take it seriously at all. Like the mommy skid, like dropping plates on your ass, bitch, like the whole everyone in the left wing, Fox!
Yeah, no, it's really, really hard to be like, yeah, you know, I see the artistic integrity of this band. It's like, no, like, what the fuck?
It just takes, there's so many drawbacks to listening to that album.
I feel like it's really hard because they're a band where they rely on very, like, cartoon-ish gimmicks.
Yeah, true.
But, like, I feel like metal can be a lot of things, but you can't expect to be taken seriously while also being, like, cartoon.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not really trying to, like... Or, I mean, it sounded like they were trying to sort of, like, add, like, a commentary, especially with, like, everybody in the left, like...
Yeah.
But the problem is, like... I feel like if you're gonna do something like that, make it, like, your central focus, or, like, don't really make it your central focus. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I just feel like with everything that you mentioned and just how random it skews outward with, like, topic to topic, it's like they just don't even really know what they want.
Yeah,
it felt like
it just goes off the rails very quickly. Like, I admire, like, the stuff they're talking about, like, on Down with the Sickness, like, is it, like, domestic abuse?
Yeah.
The track with everyone on the left wing, I forget what that song's called, but there's, like, a break that's, like, in Hebrew, which is, like, pretty powerful. Like, they can be serious and, like, take and, like, have moments where, like, you can really process, like, what they're talking about, but, like, the production or, like, the vocals or just, like, these really goofy hooks are just like, what the fuck are we doing, guys?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All in all, Matt, it left me very disturbed.
I guess go to your number...
Yes, yeah, my number 3.
Because we already talked about It Gets Better.
Yes, so my number 3 is Fuck a Silver Lining by Panic at the Disco.
Tune into my number 1. But anyway.
I guess, actually, I'll save mine then, and we can talk about it for your number 1.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So should we go to my number 2? This is
2.
a very... Wow, we're cutting corners with this
look at
fucking
that.
top 5.
Perfect.
I think it's so funny. This might be the most that we've agreed on, like,
Dude.
I think that this next track is going to be one that you very much agree with me on. And that, I don't even know what this fucking acronym stands for, but it's like the Do You Want You to Love Me?
That's my number 2, dude.
Let's fucking
Look
go,
at that,
man.
Do You Wish That You Loved Me by Sleep Token.
Yeah, this song is ass. Like,
it sucks
the
so
concept
bad.
of what it's written about is ass. I hate Vicious's vocals. Vessel.
I Mandela affected you.
Vessel. I keep calling him Vicious.
That's my fault.
I hate his vocals. Like,
Same.
it sounds like Dan Smith from Bastille, but, like, I just don't enjoy it whatsoever because I'm pretty sure they pitch his voice down too.
Yeah.
And, like, also, this song is just, like, really, really toxic as fuck. Like,
I was looking up more, like, what the lyrical content was, and it was about, like, self-hatred, kind of, where it's, like, a self-reflection thing, where it was, like, do you wish that you loved me? So, like, you weren't in this, like, spiral, like, self-hatred, which is cool, but on, like, this, with this tone, on, like, this album specifically, it's so out of field.
I also completely went over my head, gotta say, for the record.
I had to look it up, because I had no idea what the fuck they were talking about.
I straight up thought it was just about, like, some person he was dating.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too.
And I'm sorry for, I guess, misunderstanding Vessel, but, like, at the same time,
Can you really blame you? Yeah.
No, like, when you have, like, a Will Wood level of... title and also what am I trying to say, like, when the subject matter is as ambiguous and nebulous as like a Will Wood track, I feel like it's really hard for that to come across without you coming across as just like a toxic asshole, because, like, yeah,
it
sure,
can go so many other, like, interpretations. And
don't get me wrong, like, there are artists that have really ambiguous, like, song meanings and song inspirations and, like, subject matters where it's, like, up to interpretation. But I also feel like in this manner, it just does not come across well first impression wise. And when I re-listened to this track, because I remember, I think it was like a couple days ago, you, like, were talking about how this song, like, sucks, and I was like, I don't really remember this song very much, because I kind of blocked out that album entirely because I was working at, like, a really shitty internship at the time. And I had to listen to it, like, during like a thing I was working at, and I just remember thinking, like, oh, this is fine. Like, I had no opinion, truthfully. But upon re-listening to this song, I did not re-listen to the whole album because I don't think I can. I just was like, wow, I don't love any of the sentiments that this song might be about. So I very much understand why it's also your number 2.
Yeah, and I feel like from a production standpoint too, this track sucks. Like, on this, like, specifically metal album, though, I guess, like, quote unquote progressive metal, It's just, why the fuck is like an Imagine Dragons song on this whole album? Like the weird, like shitty royalty-free electro percussion, and Vessel's shitty autotune voice. It just sets the tone for like the slop you're about to listen to. It sounds like it's trying to almost be like a radio hit, even if that's not the intention. It just sounds so safe, so predictable, yet also at the same time does not fit on this album whatsoever.
Yeah. I don't even really know what that album is about, if I'm being really honest.
There's like a whole story attached to it. I don't care to learn it.
It's like, because I remember like we kind of talked about like the lore a little bit.
Yeah.
Only a little bit.
Which is cool. Like, a band with lore is dope.
It is really cool.
Yeah, but
like,
I'm not invested enough to care about it, unfortunately.
And this isn't really going to draw me in, so I totally understand that. I also very much agree with what one of our previous guests and friend of the podcast, Ben, said about it. Like, people who say, like, this is where metal's going, and, like, if this is where metal's going, I don't really want to be a part of it. From what little I've listened to of metal, because I'm pretty, like, selective about metal in general, because it's not like entirely my thing. I just don't really think that this is a great avenue.
No, I mean, because this isn't even metal. This is pop.
Yeah.
On a metal record.
Essentially.
Like, I feel like where metal is going, I think I like more now in 2025. We're leaving Sleep Token behind, going more knocked loose. Like, let's keep that going.
Yeah.
I like
Stephen
that.
Colbert, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was that the show he was on?
It was Kimmel, right?
It was Kimmel? Okay.
Yeah.
That was kind of dope. I mean, I don't listen to them like that,
That was
but
based as hell that brought him on there.
they're at Coachella, right?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm pretty sure Ben mentioned that on the Loathe and Bored to Canada episode, that they at the time were like at Coachella, and apparently they were the most memorable set.
Yeah, that's right.
That entire concert. That's like the coolest thing ever.
I know, and I'm glad they have more mainstream appeal. That's dope.
So, I don't know. No, I don't wish that I loved you. And thank you for acronyming it. Will Wood, please take notes.
Yes.
But that, you know,
this acronym fucking sucks too. It's harder than the actual song title.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. What was I gonna say too? Like with Will Wood songs, I feel like all of his tracks would just be acronyms.
Honestly, yeah.
And we'd be like, oh, you know, it's the one where it's. Oh my God, Jesus Christ! I don't even fucking know, man. But it's great that we synonymously.
Yeah, this is our number 2 worst track we ever reviewed on the podcast.
Sorry, unanimously, not synonymously. Do you want to do your number 1 or my number 1? Because you already know what my number 1 is.
Yeah, I guess I'll go my number 1, then we can both talk about Mr. Yuri.
Oh, Jesus.
But my number 1, who are we surprised, guys, is a Melanie Martinez track. We got Tag Your It.
Oh my God, yeah. This is a weird one.
This one, I think, perfectly encapsulates how flawed of a concept Crybaby is. Boiling down like serious traumatic issues through the lens of childlike comparisons, I feel like could work for a different artist. But just this execution is not the way to do it.
It really isn't.
No, it feels almost insensitive in a way. Like, with the production as this like cheesy haunted house theremin with like basic boomy pop choruses, but then it's talking about like sexual assault, comparing the assaulter to the big bad wolf. It's like, bro, that's so weird.
It's a little cringe.
Yeah.
Because like candy coating that kind of an instance is like not
there's
gonna
no
make
tact.
It's not gonna make any victim of that like feel good.
Yeah, like I've heard like defenders of the album where they're like, this album actually like really helped me, and to that, like, great, like I'm very happy that you're able to like process and like this album helped you. But I also feel like you could do so much better. There's like more avenues for that in terms of music, at least.
It's also not a blanket like, oh yeah, this will help. You know what I mean? Like it might have helped you make light of a situation, but for other people, I could very much see it being a little insulting.
Yeah, which also other people's, a majority of what I've seen have said about this track. There's like a bridge where eeny, meeny, miny, mo is the hook, and it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, really.
Like, it's just... like the baby imagery surrounding it, like it just, you can't take it seriously. It takes you out of it so fast, and it feels wrong to listen to.
It does.
Yeah. It just makes the listener like feel uncomfortable. It's not in good taste. Like, her vocal performance isn't bad. Like, she's not a bad singer. I just don't personally like her vocal styling. She kind of reminds me of like Kat Valentine, but just when she speaks, not sings.
Oh my God.
So I understand what this album was trying to do, and like, to people that have defended it, sure, keep it. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm glad you can like interpret that and cope with it. But I think there's just much better ways to do this concept than just being so on the nose about it.
Yeah.
Because it comes across as more just like a costume, like a statement. It's like an aesthetic, which sucks. So yeah, excluding my gripes with Melanie Martinez as a person, this song and album just fail at everything they try to achieve. And that is why it is the worst track I think I've reviewed on this podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can very much see why.
Oh, thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
I do not care for Miss Martinez. But that brings us to your number 1 and my number 3.
Fuck A Silver Lining by Panic at the Disco. If you've listened to our first episode of season 3,
Yes.
You already know that I hate this track so much. If not, almost as much as I hate High Hopes.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I hate the song more than High Hopes, I could say.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe they're neck and neck. I think they actually might be neck and neck.
On a different day, High Hopes might take this spot.
Yeah, because at least High Hopes sounds okay. You know what I mean? This, I just don't like at all. And like, between the sentiments of the album, especially having this being the first thing you take away from the album, between that, the vocal performance that I really, really hate a lot, the super obnoxious production.
It's so busy.
Where it like fucking bleeps out him saying fucka in the beginning, and it's like, dude, what is happening?
You have like this weird like jazz trap like music all between, and like everything is like filled. Like there's no like breathing room until like the verses, which is crazy.
Yeah, the YouTube poop fucking...
Yeah, cherries and
cherries.
Everything is cherries.
There's like so many things happening. It's such a bad opener.
Yeah.
Like this, I think I said this one is like the worst Panic at the Disco song. And then I had said that High Hopes is like the most un-Panic at the Disco.
Yeah.
Panic at the Disco song. I mean... Even though I said that about High Hopes, I could also see that about this as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
because this sets the tone of like, this is Brendan Urie's now. This is what he wants to do.
No, literally.
Yeah.
And like, it's just so funny, like, when listening back to this whole album in general, seeing the band and what the band used to be actively unravel from like the first track to the end track. It's like, it's such a bad first impression of this new era of Panic at the Disco that burned out and fizzled out so quickly.
Yep.
Like, oh my god. I like I said before, when I first listened to this track back when I was in high school, I remember thinking like, this is a stupid song. Like, what am I listening to right now? Also, keep your fucking parentheticals to yourself.
Yes. As we discussed with the PEMDAS.
PEMDAS at the disco. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Dude, like, I feel like this is the culmination about like everything I dislike about Brendan Urie as a vocalist. Just like from the jump, it's just screaming, his high register, all gas, no brakes. Like there's no breathing room in this song. Like you're just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like from the jump. And then you have like, again, like the lyrics, which kind of shows off the whole confused kind of concept of this album, where it's like, I'm awesome, but I'm also sad.
I love being a star, but I'm also tortured. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I feel like there's ways to do that, but just like the way he does it is very surface level and almost hollow with his like commentary on that.
With his commentary, his literary references, which is just saying book titles and then just being
Pink
like
Floyd songs.
Oh my god. Going back to just how overwhelming it is, I feel like I've listened to Death Grip songs that were less overwhelming than this. And I think it's because with like Death Grips, they're a band where you almost like want to be overstimulated.
Yeah, that's like their whole brand.
That's their whole brand, and they do it well because they know their audience and they know exactly what they're trying to do, and it's in like a tasteful way. Even with like ambiguous lyrics that like kind of work for what the instrumental's going for. This is, I don't think, trying to be overstimulating.
No, it's just like Brendan, like he's like more, just like keeps it like adding stuff in to like just completely overstuff the song.
Was this the one where you said that like this album is just Ed, Ed, and Eddie?
It might have been.
Or like how your mom felt about you watching Ed, Ed, and Eddie?
I think it was actually,
I think I remember you said that about like some track on this.
Yeah.
And this might have been the one, I forget. But like, I just think this song, because even as obnoxious as Death of a Bachelor was, this like, I feel like takes the cake.
Oh yeah,
like
totally.
More than anything on that, even Victorious on that album didn't feel as loud as this song. It's just fucking loud and like metallic and like I don't like,
Hollow. Like there's nothing of substance in this track.
it really like just doesn't do this album justice.
No.
And this album is already trying to climb out of a hole as is. So I hate this song a lot, and that's why it's probably my number one worst track that I've reviewed.
I think that's understandable
on this podcast.
Especially since you've had a history with the band too, like previously. So
Yeah.
But I guess that'll do it for this week's episode.
Yeah, rather quick episode.
Yeah, rather fun one.
Yeah.
Always good shitting on bad music.
Always good self-referencing our old material.
Yes, we're at that point, aren't we?
I guess we are, yeah.
Yeah.
We're pretty far into this.
I guess question of the week, what are some of the worst tracks that you think we've reviewed on the podcast so far?
And also, side note, name some tracks just in general that you hate.
That's also true.
We could be both.
And if you like these tracks, that's awesome. We're sorry.
We're sorry.
Tell us how wrong we are in the comments. We'll take your engagement and the algorithm boost. But yeah.
This has been a very interesting episode of Family Meeting. As always, my name is Matt Glass.
And I'm AJ Tenari.
And we will see you next week for our winners of the Bad Album Bowl. Peace!
Go Birds!